Welcome to March 15th, 2026 at a very quiet Minneapolis airport parking lot. I have a flight that goes out at 9 o'clock tonight. And if anyone's been paying attention to the weather, there is a serious, I just mixed the words severe and serious together, but yes, there is a serious and severe winter blizzard warning for Minnesota. Originally, I had a shuttle scheduled to bring me to the airport. Unfortunately, that shuttle got canceled and I had but one thing left to do, which was drive myself. So, packed up my car, left around 2 p.m., a little before 2 p.m., and got here just a little bit before 4 p.m. because we're headed to Vegas. When I say I'm headed to Vegas, I'm not really headed to Vegas for pleasure. It's for a conference. It's for a work conference. But while I'm there, I figured, why not share some of the fun adventures I will have in Vegas. And it's so cold out. I mean, I would love to have my hat, my mittens and everything right now, but there's really no reason to be putting those on an airplane to Vegas. Nope, I will do just fine with my regular attire, sweatshirt for that I got in Alaska. That'll be enough. Though I should have checked the weather in Vegas. I did not even think about that. The roads weren't too bad getting down here. I think.
At Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport.
Oh, you're welcome.
In the Gold Rank at Terminal 1.
Thank you so much. The roads weren't too bad, but there were some scary spots, especially when we got into Minneapolis, around the area where they split between, going the wrong way. The roads weren't very clear right in that spot. I saw one car in the ditch. Looked like there was another accident. I actually looked like a snowplow was, had like a trailer on the back of it. And I saw it starting to slide to the side. It was like in the right lane, it was starting to slide just as I was about to pass it. And it really freaked me out, but.
Floor 3, exit here for Skyway access.
But for the most part, roads were pretty clear by this point. I don't think they got nearly as much snow as they were hyping up. But it'll still be interesting. A lot of flights were canceled ahead of time. My flight is still a go for, originally I believe it was 9:30, but it's been pushed to 10 o'clock now. I think things have cleared up enough for it to go up. And if it doesn't, I don't really know what I do next. This is also the earliest I've ever been to the airport. Biggest reason was I wanted to be comfy in the airport through security so I could start watching the Oscars, because today is Oscars night. Usually I'll get together with family or friends for it. I'd like to even have a party, but unfortunately that's not possibility this year, so I will be watching it at the airport. Also, this is the lightest I've ever packed, so looking forward to hopefully this will be. And we made it through security. I think this is also going to be one of the first times I've ever been here where things are actually open. I feel like every time I'm at this airport, nothing is open. But I came early enough. You know, with the winter storm, I was still having a suspicion that maybe things still wouldn't be open. Some things aren't. Sunglass Hunt, not open. But, looking forward to it. Maybe I could try some of the different joints at the airport. I don't know, everything's overpriced at the airport though. You're stuck here, so of course you have to pay whatever they're asking. Got Snoopy there. But alas, there are some things that are not open. The local Buffalo Wild Wings joint is currently closed. No jam and jalapeno for me tonight. Oh, it is very quiet over here. This is apparently where we'll set off.
Hands on 5 for Vegas.
Ooh. Can't quite see my breath, but it's a bit cold. And despite all the weather, all the potential issues, we are on the flight. Right by the, I would suppose that would be the driver's side engine. At nearly 11 o'clock at night, Central Time, we're on the plane. This is the kind of room they gave me for my stay. I am not used to anything like this. I think there's a way to just open these curtains. Is there a way? Is it this panel over here? Not used to this. All off. Ooh, oh. But if I do all on, it's gonna open the curtains all the way. Look at that. Wow. And there it is. Well, we made it to Vegas. There it is. The Strip. Long day of travel. It is now 2 a.m., which is sort of like 4 a.m. in Minnesota. It's time to go to bed. Monday, March 16th. Taking a look at the Sphere in Vegas as I continue my work trip in I don't know what I was gonna call this city actually. It is Sin City, I know that. Oh, look at that empty parking lot. I wonder if that's what would that parking be for? I think the Sphere is a little too far away for that to be parking for that, but that's just an obnoxiously large parking lot though that's completely empty. What is that for? Well, you can see my building casting a shadow. The Encore is casting a shadow. Also very close to, I believe that is Trump Tower. And another hotel being built there in the shape of a guitar. I guess it's, I'm assuming something for the Hard Rock. A lot going on. Outdoors, it's about 70 degrees. That right there is the hotel. I'm staying at the Encore, but it's right next to the Wynn. It's essentially just an extension of the Wynn. Is that a guy washing windows right now? Yeah, look at that. And the Wynn golf course. I just always forget when I'm here that these hotels are usually used for conferences. All kinds of different conferences come to Vegas because there's so much space, but you get here and you can't even fathom just how big the spaces are. Just rooms upon rooms and a hallway that just seems never ending. A building that just seems never ending. We're being in pretty much the middle of nowhere. This town feels just so gigantic. It's just massive to look at. Back at the room, all on. Also, I forgot to, I kind of showed this room before, but it's just so freaking massive. But I wanted to show this from before. The bathroom has a phone in it. Yep, I have a phone in here. And I came all the way over to the Palms, with the only reason being that I was told this would be the theater that has a true IMAX screen. I had heard that there was an early screening of Project Hail Mary coming out on Monday, today. So I figured while I was in Vegas, maybe I could pop in and see the movie on in a type of special experience that I don't typically get. And well, it looked like it all worked out because I got to see Project Hail Mary on one of the biggest screens I've ever seen. And it was a true IMAX screen. It was a good movie. Walking out of it right away, just from the crazy good reviews that it's gotten, I did enjoy it a lot. I thought it was very inventive. And I don't know how I felt about like the structure of it necessarily, but it was good to see Phil Lord, Chris Miller return to the director's chair. Here goes the elevator down. I've been sporadically filming the past few days, not creating vlogs for each day, but just it's going to be one comprehensive blog of all the different days that I've been here. I believe that was a self-driving multi-seated car of some sort. But anyway, just a vlog that's kind of going over the available time that I had when I was in Vegas, when I was doing non-work stuff, which was rare. I didn't have a whole lot of extra time on my hands, but I did have time to do one thing. I am having time to go see the Sphere version of The Wizard of Oz being promoted there on TV. You can see the sphere in the distance there. You see it? The Wizard of Oz. From what I've seen of The Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, I felt a little gross about it. Something about it. The popular term is AI slop, but that is what it felt like, looked like. I don't know if that's exactly how they went about creating it, but I don't know. Something about expanding the screen the way they did, not using the film's original aspect ratio. Part of me didn't really want to go, but at the same time, it's kind of a unique experience that I'm curious about, especially for one of my all-time favorite films. Essentially the thing that's like making the Sphere all the money right now. Somehow the Wizard of Oz found its way back into Vegas. Oh yeah, it's big. Can't even tell if that... I'm guessing that's a real curtain down there? Yeah, it has to be. It's not just a digital projection. There is actually a stage up there because they do shows here.
Of course we won't. Where are we at?
Please, Madam. Toro didn't mean to. He didn't know he was doing anything wrong. I'm the one that ought to...
Maybe, just maybe, an apple will come flying your way from some generous person out there. Go! Yes, did you get it? Let's go! Very well. I have every intention of granting your requests. But first, you must prove yourselves worthy by performing a very small task. Who here can bring me the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West?
Denica! Are you up for the task? Our very fine apple giver. Would you like to be up for the task, Denica? Okay!
All right, Denica, step forward and oh, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Come back tomorrow. The Prince House has spoken.
Esteemed guests and all who are young at heart, we thank you for joining us here today, and we wish you a safe journey home. Nothing to see here.
Well, that was the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, and kind of reminded me of a theme park ride. Also, it felt more like a tech demo for what's possible at the Sphere, but I mean, it's a cool venue, and you know, as far as what they'll have there in the future, if they can make some kind of movie that's like specifically geared towards the Sphere. I mean, you could even probably do some sort of like IMAX movie at the Sphere. I think that would be way better utilization for it. I feel like, I don't know if the proposition of bringing the Wizard of Oz to the Sphere was to just project the movie and leave it at that, but then Warner Brothers went crazy with it and decided we're gonna like splice the characters out of the scenes that they're in the original movie, and we're going to put like different backgrounds in there. And I don't know how much of it utilizes, you know, AI technologies as far as like generative AI goes. Some of the backgrounds I thought looked really good. Some of like the newer effects I thought were pretty impressive. I think, you know, it was a pricey thing to go to. I think like $100 some for what is a trimmed down version of the original movie, but with like new effects, similar to something like the Star Wars special edition, if you think about it in that way. To pay $100 for that is pretty crazy, but I thought it was almost worth it just for the tornado scene alone, because that was the part where it really did feel like a theme park experience. You know, the chairs were rumbling, they had this machine that was blowing wind throughout the venue, and there's a few effects like that. Some of them were good, some of them were strange. Like, you know, they had a moment where all these apples fall. That's kind of one of the highlights of the show. It's kind of weird to have that be a highlight, given that I never thought much of the apples from the Wizard of Oz coming from those talking trees, but they made it a huge deal for this show. They have them raining from the sky. You get to keep them as souvenirs if you happen to get one. They have the poppy field scene, which is followed by the snow. They don't drop asbestos on you, but it's some kind of like foam that like dissolves pretty quickly. So a lot of interesting effects like that. But then they have those weird moments where they're cutting characters out of the original movie. And sometimes, you know, because the original movie, the camera moves a little bit, but they want the characters to be a little more stationary, or it's more that they want their backgrounds to remain stationary and have the characters move around in the same placement as the original film. But the original film had a camera moving, so when they're trying to crop the characters out, cut them out from the original scenes, you can see the goofs every once in a while. And then there's instances where, if you know the original movie pretty well, you know that there's other scenes where, you know, the movie was built for a 4:3 ratio. So when they have like a close-up of Dorothy, like towards the end of the movie, for instance, when they're all getting their different, they're getting their different gifts from the wizard. Dorothy is in frame, but they can't fit all the characters into that one frame. In order to achieve that with the Sphere, they add the characters in to the side of Dorothy where they originally were not in the original film. And I don't know if they're pulling it from 100% generative AI. I don't know if they're cutting them from different scenes and looping the animations, but either way, it looks pretty bad. And there's a lot of moments like that, a lot of just weird looping animations that they do. And some of the fixes that they try to do to fill up, like, you know, the people of Oz, they had the Munchkinland characters. You have to place more characters in there than what was originally in the film. And, you know, I don't know how many people have been paying attention, because, you know, their focus is probably more on Judy Garland, who already looks pretty goofy in the way that she is cut from the original film and placed into this new background. all the other Munchkin characters that are filling up the screen have these very obvious AI faces going on. You know, it kind of reminds me of early AI stuff that was going on about like 3 years ago, where people were able to clean up like older photos and upscale them, but all the AI was doing was trying to guess what the face looks like. And for an older photo, that doesn't always work because it doesn't know exactly what that person looked like. It doesn't know exactly what it's trying to guess. It just knows that it's trying to find a face, and then it makes sometimes horrific looking faces. And that happened a lot during this movie, where you could just pay attention and see that the faces would morph into different types of faces. And these were all background characters. I mean, it's not like this was happening with characters that were at, you know, the front of the crowd, the main characters, but if you paid attention to the background, it would look goofy every once in a while. So I don't know, I feel pretty mixed on it. I thought it was cool to go to because, I mean, I love the movie. There were some weird edits that they did as well, because it's not really the entire movie. There are different bits that are cut out. One thing I love is that they actually cut out the Lions song, If I Was King of the Forest. I've always hated that part of the movie. I don't like that song. I don't know why they gave like another song to the lion. Don't understand it. Not a fan of it. And they cut it out entirely. But then there's other moments that they cut out that I thought were quite strange, like some different bits that were going on during the Munchkin Land scene. They cut some different musical bits from there. There was some of the better jokes were cut out. There's a great joke in the movie with the doorman who's asking who rang the bell, and then he presents a sign that says, "The bell is broken, please knock." And they cut that joke out entirely. And I'm like, that's a great joke. Yeah, it was, the other great jokes that they cut out was towards the end with the wizard mocking each character individually. That's some of the funniest stuff in the movie, and they cut that out. So I don't really know why they decided to save time. It's like they wanted to make the movie exactly 75 minutes by trimming down some other things, but I thought it was pretty random what they decided to cut. But at the same time, I guess there was some really cool effects throughout the movie that I thought were really well done. And as far as a lot of those backgrounds go, sometimes they looked really goofy. Some of the angles were pretty like ridiculous, but I thought it at least looked pretty good. And I thought the sphere, the technology that they have for projecting it looked incredible. It's nice to be here when it's very new because everything is just top notch. It's great to look at. So, I don't know. I mean, to me, I'd rather see like some original type of film built for the sphere. I don't know if that would be something that's cost effective really, because the reason that they were like repurposing an older film and using tools that, you know, like AI tools that probably sped the process up compared to what it would have taken, you know, say like 10 years ago. It makes more sense to use an older, very popular movie for the sphere rather than try to create something specifically for the sphere. So I don't know. I would say I'm a little mixed on it. If it wasn't so expensive, I'm still surprised it's like $100. But from what I'm hearing is that like this Wizard of Oz show is like pulling in like millions upon millions of dollars, basically making the sphere like immediately worth it, like extremely profitable for Vegas. So I don't know. What are they going to do next? Is there a movie that's on the level of Wizard of Oz? You got to think. Warner Brothers. If Warner Brothers decided to do another deal with them, what else do they have? They got Harry Potter. They got some different superhero DC characters. They at least had to make one stop to a classic. Well, I'm on my way home. I'm now headed to security. It's time to get out of Vegas. It's been a long couple of days. I'm very tired. It's not even quite 6 a.m. yet. And we made it through security. Is this on the screen here? Is this the recycle bin? What's going on there? Just a slight delay. Just waiting on a plane.
Mobile devices as long as they're set to airplane mode. Federal regulations prohibit the use of cellular networks during flight. The use of Wi-Fi to make voice or video calls is not allowed. We are now almost ready to go, so please take your seat, fasten your seatbelt, and stow your tray and carry-on items. Ensure all armrest are in the resting position and headrests are lowered. Flight attendants, await all calls.
Ooh, I can already feel the cold outside. But we're back in Minnesota. Crazy couple days. Exhausted. Still have to go another 2 hours